Hi, you guys. This is Michelle, and I'm going to be talking to you about balance and waking up your mind. So, I'm a huge YouTube fan. I have several people that I have favorited, and there's a particular guy that I like to watch. His name is Rex Bear. He has a channel called Lead Project, and he he was talking about how in the movie The Matrix has some like particular things that really make kind of applies to what's really going on. It's sort of like hidden messages. So of course, I'm like, oh, I gotta watch The Matrix. I'm gonna try to find it. So I found this one section, and I'm gonna read to you. I've got it up right here, and I'm gonna read to you what they actually said. So the words were, the matrix is a system. The system is our enemy. When you look around, what do you see? You see businessmen, carpenters, teachers, lawyers, the very minds of the people we are trying to save. But until we do, the people are still part of that system, and that makes them our enemy. You have to understand that most of these people are not ready to be unplugged. Many of them are so hopelessly dependent on the system that they will fight to protect it. Wow. When I heard that, I rewinded it, I played it again, I typed it. I was like, oh my God, this is so true. You know, I talk a lot about with my clients about waking up. There's a word, a terminology that's used a lot. It's the awakening or waking up or being present, the power of now. All of those things are words that are used a lot, but I don't think a lot of people really understand what that means. So we get trapped in these programs that run inside of our brains. We get trapped in automatic mode, which creates a zombie-like mentality. And what happens is that we're running around, running programs kind of on autopilot, and we end up finding out that our life is stressful and out of control, and there's no balance. In my generation, I'm 50, and in my generation, there's a lot of women that have never married, never had children. There's a lot of people that are divorced, and mostly a lot of people that really pushed hard for a career and chose that over anything else, and they come back, and years later they've got all this money and this really great life and all this other stuff, but they don't have all the other things that they wanted in their life, and they don't know how to create that balance because they created this huge fortress, and they're alone. And so I've had a lot of people ask me a lot of questions about how to create that balance. Well, one of the first things that you need to do is you need to figure out what you really want. And of course, once you figure out what you want, how do you want to get it? Why do you want this balance? How do you want it to look? Where do you want it to be in your life? What's the part that's lacking? Okay? Now, so many people can't find that because they're so entrapped in that mental programming. Got to do this, got to do this, got to do this, got to do this, and they get obsessed with one thing, and they don't create the balance. And without balance, if you don't have spiritual balance, physical balance, health balance, life balance, friends, love, family, all those things, if you're lacking in those areas, you're going to feel the sense of loneliness inside of you. So first you want to identify, what you want. Okay? Then the next thing you need to do is I want you to look at what your distractions are. What are the things that's keeping you from actually having that balance? How much TV are you watching? How much Facebook are you doing? How much Instagram are you doing? I mean, I know there's interesting stuff to watch. I mean, how else would you be watching me? But on some levels, watching something like this is helpful. So I wouldn't consider that a distraction if it's helping you become a better person. What I'm talking about is how much Netflix and are you watching, and how much are you paying attention to everything everybody's doing on Facebook. I mean, why is that an obsession for you? Why can't you just take a little bit of that time? If you just get rid of those things that really hold no value, I mean, you want to analyze those areas where those distractions are and say, okay, is this holding any value in my life? And if it's not, you need to get rid of it. Is the news holding value in your life? Do you have to watch that every day? Is it causing you a distraction? Is it causing you to get frustrated? So once you do that, then the next thing you want to do is you want to start saying no. You want to set some boundaries and stop saying yes to everything. When you say yes to everything and you feel like you have to be people pleaser and you have to say yes to every single person, you know what? You can't please everybody. I had to learn that the hard way. I was saying yes to everybody, and eventually it just kind of blew up in my face, And then suddenly everybody that was so used to me saying yes to started getting upset with me because I wasn't saying yes. But eventually they got used to it. I had to create that balance in my life. I had to be able to make sure that I had time to work on my business, work on my personal relationships, have boundaries with my friendships, my family, with everybody, and create that good balance that runs around me so I can have a little bit of everything. And when you do decide to say yes to something because it's something that you want, make sure that if you say you're going to do it, you need to do it. Don't put yourself so wound and so tight and so tied up and so strung out that you end up disappointing other people and cause rift in your life. If you tell your child that you're going to read them a book, then read them the book. If you say you're going to be home by 7 to take your wife out for dinner, then do that. So once you create those boundaries and you start to say no to things, and the things you do say yes to, you stick to, do your very best at that point to put an intention into your life to get back that balance. Because at this point in time, while you're thinking about this, you're listening to this, you're overwhelmed with all these things going on, life does have a tendency of, putting so much out there. It's like, and you're like, how do I get that balance? I'm so overwhelmed, You got to kind of like take baby steps, and set a plan and put a plan in motion and the intention to create that balance, and give yourself permission to say no and start creating that balance. And then the next thing is to be more specific about dictating your time. If you say you're going to work out for an hour in the gym, I want you to work out for an hour in the gym. Don't go an hour and a half. If you say that you're going to swing over here real quick and drop off this thing, don't end up staying for an extra hour because you say, sorry, you guys, but I would love to sit here and stay, but I promised that I was going to be here at a different time to go meet my friends for dinner or something. Make sure you're very specific in how you dedicate your time, so that, and when you're in that time frame with that person, let's say you decide I'm going to take an hour to do this, make sure that that hour is completely quality time. So that, because even though you say you're going through the motions, okay, well, I spent an hour over here, but I still feel out of balance. It's because when you're with that person, what you're doing is you're still thinking about work, texting, doing this, doing that. You're like all over the place, and you're not putting that quality time in there, and you're so you're still not creating the balance because your head's still at work or your head's still somewhere else. Be specific about that time and make sure it's quality time. And then the next thing is that with balance, there's always help. Okay, it's so important that you improve your health. Work out, take some time to be outside, make sure you're eating healthy, make sure you get quality sleep, and add meditation into your day. It's been proven that just by getting the quality sleep that you need and meditation, a minimum of 5 to 15 minutes a day, improves your cognitive ability 30%. So the time that you're actually working is going to be more productive. You're going to have more clarity. You're going to be able to work smarter, not harder. And you'll be able to do this just by adding those simple things in your life. You know, finding room to do those things. Get out, take a walk, make sure you meditate, eat healthy, stop eating fast food, and improve your own personal well-being by doing these things. Health, meditation, sleep, work out, get outside. It has been proven that if you just walk, nobody says you have to race, nobody's power walking or anything, just get out and walk. Get outside, and you start to vibrate with the earth, and it calms you. Anyways, these are some tips for creating some balance. Now listen, you guys, if you have any suggestions on things that you would like me to talk to you about, or a little bit more clarity on specific things, please make sure that you make a comment at the end of the video and say, hey Michelle, can you talk about this? What are your thoughts on that? And I'll make sure that I'll make a video on that or put some kind of topic on that, okay? You guys have a wonderful day.